So yeah, in this one we are going to discuss about one more method to access our UI elements, which is with the help of view binding. So why view binding if this find view by ID is working absolutely fine? So view binding is generally used for two purposes. The first one is for our null safety. Suppose we just give this grid ID, and if there is something, the ID actually was something else. It was not great, it was greeting. So it will throw out the null pointed exception. In that case, we have to just move, figure out all the things away, all the things where we went wrong. So this was the first reason. And the other reason, which is that is our type safety, which is this one, like text view. I have to mention over here that which type of view is there. But with the use of view binding, we are not supposed to mention the view type. So it just reduces our code and makes our code less boilerplate. So with these advantages, Android developers prefer this view binding over the find view by ID. So let's just go in the code and figure out how to explore our view binding. So in the project section, I want to go in this Gradle scripts just below the app. And in there, I just want to go with this app build Gradle. And you can see that in this Android section, we have to add, it could be there or it couldn't be there. If it is there, this build features, then it's fine with the view binding enabled. If it is not, you just enable it. Like in my case, it was not there, view binding in the build features in my Android section, so I have to write this piece of code. Make sure you write in this format, which I have written, build with starting with small b, the camel case formatting, and then hit on this sync now, and it will Gradle will build at the bottom of your screen. Then we need to move to our main activity. That sync can take a minute or so if you are doing it for the first time, but I have done it several times, so it may not take that much time. So I will just comment out this code which was using the find view by ID method. And now I'm just going to create a var binding, that is my object name of type activity main binding. So yeah, I have to just tell you what is this latent keyword. Some literally that variable, you can understand. I am declaring just going to make some object which is binding in this class. But what this latent keyword is doing over here? So it just ensures this latent keyword. This just ensures you that you will first initialize the variable or the object in our case first and then use it. You don't do in that way, the app will crash out. So that's use of this latent keyword, and this binding is our object name which we will first initialize, and then this activity main binding is our class which you can just look over in this activity main.xml name. The analogy between both these things is that activity main and then binding I have to add extra, and this one has the name activity main.xml. What more things which we can figure out over there is that this is using underscore, whereas this is following the camel case format after this capital A, and that's how the class will be formed. And this class will be automatically formed when we add our binding initial code in our build Gradle features, build Gradle file. So yep, now this object name has been declared, and now we need to initialize this object which is binding is equal to this activity main binding dot inflate, and we are going to inflate with this layout inflator. So this line just initialize our object, and now we have to access our, we have to write this set content view, which this method does is to just, earlier you can see that r.layout.activity main, and now we are going to just put binding dot root. So it just fills our layout XML, nothing special it does. And we can access now with this binding dot id name or anything. So suppose this activity main.xml has this id grid, and to access, to make some changes in that one, binding dot greet dot, suppose I want to change the text which was earlier hello world. Suppose I want to give the text as hello, just simple hello. And you can just, there is a error, not an error, but there's a warning over here coming, which I have earlier also told you. You can just extract Spring resource from this one and just give whatever name you want to give. Suppose I want to give hello, and I will just hit on OK. So that error will also remove, and I will just run the app. It will show hello, which was earlier showing hello world. Now it needs to show hello. So Gradle build is running at the bottom of the screen, and that's how you can access your UI elements with the help of view binding. And the app has also run, and it is showing the only hello. So yeah, that's how you're going to access your UI elements with the help of view binding. Hope this video will serve your purpose to come here. Make sure to hit the like button if you are new. Then do subscribe also. And thanks for watching.